Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer. You're here in the ice cold bear cave. That's right. It's nice and chilly here in the middle of June ish. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you're watching this live, you know that I am streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is early for me. For many of y'all, it is too early. Uh, Yes, it is the Winter NYC, Mr. Bob. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Mr. Bob. If you're a subscriber there in chat, throw out a Bear Cave emote or a Lego emote, depending on your level. Um, but yeah, it's early. And I know some of you are wondering, Pat, why did you do this? If you're watching later, excuse me, sorry, watching later on YouTube, you're thinking to yourself, this doesn't matter to me at all. But if you're watching this live, you're wondering, Pat, why did you start at 7 p.m. Eastern Time? You normally, these days, start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, I should have thought of this before yesterday, but it's E3, and the folks at Giant Bomb are doing evening shows, and their shows start at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. their time. Um, and the Thursday show is popular people are going to be there. Drew Scanlon's going to make an appearance. And then later in the night, nonsense will erupt. And I didn't want to stand in the way of that nonsense. And also, I didn't want to make my viewers choose between the two. So hopefully some of those viewers can watch this early, or at the very least they can watch it later on YouTube. But I didn't want to do it the normal time when I know a lot of people would like to watch the Giant Bomb stream. So that's happening, and some of y'all are here. Some of y'all aren't. It's okay if you're not. Um, it's okay if the numbers are low today, but I didn't want to do it tomorrow instead because I have plans that I didn't want to cancel. So instead, we're doing a nice early stream. It's afternoon for a few people. It's uh, night for a few. It's daylight still outside because we haven't hit the summer equinox. So it's still bright out, and my lighting was all sorts of messed up. I think I figured it out, but uh, as always, sometimes it gets bad around here because it's not. I'm getting sunlight from the outside. Anyway, we'll wait for a few more minutes, see if a few more people join us. But I'm not expecting a huge audience tonight, which is okay. Um, it'll still be very fun. We'll still talk about anime. We'll talk about E3. I'll build the Buster Gundam. I will finish it in these 2 hours and then start the next one. If you saw the mailbag, you saw that I got two kits in the mail. My $10 backers voted on which kit I should do first because I'll do the first one and then the other one. So I know what I'm building, and it should be pretty quick there. Will Smith, thank you for hosting the stream. I appreciate that very much. I'm a little bit losing my voice. I'm going to take a drink of water already. My voice is not great. I apologize for that. That's very good. Nice cold water. Very good way to start our stream. But yeah, I hope if you are watching, you can pop in the chat and chat with me. That would be nice. But if not, if you're one of my viewers that just likes to kick back and relax and not really contribute, that's totally cool as well. Let me just do a quick check to see notifications here on the old Twitter. Okay. Happy to see that. But yeah, okay. Let's get into it. It's time to go. Let's switch over to the main feed. There we are. I'm going to move this cable out of the way. We've got our Buster Gundam. To go over it, we have done the backpack, the arms, shoulders, head, body. We have done the legs completely and totally. And now it's time to work on the waist. I did this off camera as for my warm up. As you know, if you've watched before, I like to do a warm up where I clip a few pieces, put some stuff together, and just kind of get my hands moving and ready to go. But yeah, so we're working on our Buster Gundam here from Gundam Seed. I've mentioned this previously. I have not watched that much of Gundam Seed. I remember not really liking it when it came out, and I know I have a few friends that really enjoyed the show. I've always meant to go back to it. I just never did. But yeah, maybe someday I will. All right, we'll do this. So yeah, so we're just building our waist here, which is sometimes people call it the skirt. These are sometimes tricky, especially in the high grade. These have a tendency to pop off here. They're not hard to assemble, but they are sometimes hard to keep on. So we'll see if that works or doesn't work. We got here. Harold is hosting the stream. Thank you very much for that, Harold. Really appreciate that. And of course, Will as well. Happy to be uh, on your lists of people that you host. It's very nice. Harold, yes, hello and welcome. As mentioned, this is my afternoon-ish stream. For some folks, still the afternoon. It is the early evening for others. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it just comes down to it. Like, look, I want to watch tonight. Okay, I want to see I want to see Drew on there. I want to see Drake on there. I want to see any other people that they've meant to have on that they haven't had yet. I want to see those folks on the Giant Bomb stream, and I understand that a lot of people that watch me here know me from my association with Giant Bomb. Came to this through League of Heels or the Giant Bomb stuff or PAX stuff like that, and you know, like I said, I'm also being selfish. I want to watch that stuff live because this is the only night I get to watch it live. Everything else I've watched later. I watched the last segment last night live because I got home from work in time and was able to watch. But I want to see it. So, right. So yeah, we're working on our skirt here. Just doing some quick assembly, some easy quick assembly here. Do, do, do. Yeah, it's been a good week. I've had a good time this week working and getting things ready. I think I mentioned before. I started last Friday. I started a character writing class, character performance class, writing and performance at UCB. It's been a while since I took a class of any type, so it has been nice to G15. It's been nice to do that and kind of get back in the habit of writing. I wrote something for tomorrow that I think is pretty funny, so I'll be excited to see how it goes over. I can talk about it here. Why not? Why don't I talk about it? The basic bit is it is a guy talking to a coworker, and he's talking about the big game and how he can't wait for people to come over for the big game and list like their friends and makes allusions to by his demeanor and the words he's saying. You would assume that he is a sports bro and he's talking about the big game, but and game day. But in reality, in the comedy element of it, he's talking about Dungeons and Dragons. He's a Dungeons and Dragons bro. And this comes from my one of my close friends who was talking to me about E3 and specifically Fallout 76, and he was talking it in the most bro-tastic way possible. No disrespect to him, I found it charming and very fun, the way he was going on and how he was so psyched about it. It made me laugh. And since the assignment for this week for this show or for this class was to write something based on a family member or close friend, I thought it would be very funny to kind of move it from video games into D&D. And I think it's gonna be good. It's a good bit, I think. So hopefully the teacher will enjoy it and the class will laugh. That's what I'm obviously looking for. But at the very least, it was good for me to just have a writing assignment that I completed. Hello, welcome, Johnny. Thanks for coming to the early stream. I appreciate you being here. Just talking about the writing assignment I had for my character class that I'm in. This was the first assignment we had. And hello, board. Welcome. Nice to have some familiar faces. I apologize once again for doing an early stream, doing 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll end when I normally start, but like I said, wanted to make way for the Giant Bomb stuff because I know that my audience and myself included would like to tune in for the final night because the final night is very silly. Uh, anyway, yeah. So I was happy to just have an assignment and complete it. I want to make sure that I'm doing all my writing and all that. Having a deadline was great. And then also just like there's something like even if it's not the funniest thing, even if it doesn't go into my packet or my repertoire or like is a thing that I do later, the idea that I had a thought, found a funny thing, and then worked on it, finished it, and now I'm going to perform it. Like that stuff is important for comedy, for what I'm trying to do to keep like myself motivated to keep trying things like that like is important. So overall, happy with it. Hopefully it'll turn out funny and my class will enjoy it. Uh oh, Smash Mouth, Johnny. I always say Johnny because that was your former screen name. I'm glad that it's working. It works. Okay. It might be a delay. I get that now and again. I have the dashboard open, which tells me a lot more than just the chat. Lashbrook, hello and welcome. But I also always have just the regular old Twitch feed because sometimes I have to use that chat instead of the dashboard chat, which is very annoying. Anyway, yeah, so we're building this. Yeah, so I'm working on a class. Hello from Canada. Hello, Lashbrook. I hope you're enjoying Canada. You know, it's always fun. Obviously, Johnny's here, so we already have a bit of an international flair to the show as is, but it's always nice to have folks visiting, visiting the internet stream from other places. 34. Lashbrook, what do you do in Canada? I don't believe that's where you're from. If it is, I apologize if I'm messing that up, but I don't remember that being the case. But yeah, let me know what you're up to. And then if you are from Canada and I'm fucking this up, sorry. Not my intention. While we're waiting to see if Lashbrook is going to reply to that, I'll tell you that oh, so you know that y'all know that I normally send out a gift every month now. I've been doing this now since March. Somebody wins a model kit. The person that won for May, the last one in May, did not reply to my messages. Has not replied to my messages, and I have not been able to contact them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick two people at the end of June, which is fun because it's my birthday, so it's fun to do an extra thing. But my birthday month anyway. So the last stream of the month, Harold is in Florida. It is Harold. Florida is special America. It is definitely a different, unique America. Um, it is almost its own thing. You're not wrong. Um, yeah, Lastbrook, you're from Texas. Okay. Hanging out with people and doing tour stuff. That's fun. Democracy today. Okay. That's very fun. Enjoy that. What was I saying? Yeah, so because I was unable to contact the person that won the model kit, instead I will do two drawings in June at the same time and mail out two kits. So I don't know. I don't know. That person, as far as I can tell, it was their first month backing, and they might not just be that active of a Twitch user. Or they didn't want it and didn't even want to reply saying no thanks. I have had people say, send it to somebody else. I don't have room for model kits. Or I actually built that model kit. You could spread the wealth. I have had that before. So I would be too surprised if that was what the case was. But yeah, hopefully the next person to win kits will be able to accept them, and I'll mail them out. I already have it boxed up, packaged. I can't remember what the next one is. Actually, I can look that up. Uh, see, right here. I have a document with all of it. Yeah, Stallfern. I don't know what happened, Stallfern, but oh, it's the RX 7805, the one that's based on the PlayStation video game. That's the next one to go out to a lucky person at the end of the month. You saw Parliament in session. Lastbrook, when you said you saw a democracy, that's what I assumed that you would went to go see Parliament in action. That's fun. That is a good use as a tourist to go see local government. Good on you. All right. So we're building the front parts of our skirt here. And then what we're doing here is we put in some clips in the front, and now we're going to drop it on and then drop it down. Clip on, clip down. These will hopefully have some movement, and then because of the movement, won't pop off that easily. But they will definitely pop off because they always do. And then we will attach our legs. We will attach the side, and then we will attach the top, and we'll be done except for the weapons. So let's attach a leg. Let's attach a leg. Lift that up a bit. And then we will attach the sides. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually attach the whole thing because once I put these sides on, it'll actually be harder to get this ball into its socket or joint. So socket, yeah. Great. Now we'll put the side pieces on, which are A22 and G20. G20. Great, we're done with this sheet here once we snip these off. Smashmouth asks if the Canadian Parliament that you saw was as rowdy as the British government. That's a good question. Yeah, I know some parliaments, no, not all parliaments are created equal. Some are rowdier than others. That's a fair question. And A22. The speaker had to scold everyone and say everyone gets a turn to speak like they were children. So yes. Yes, so I do feel a little cheated. When I was, you know what, actually, say this. Never talked about this on stream, so this is good. I assume they still have it, but for many years, at least in the 90s, late 90s, they had it. I don't know if they still do or not. But the U.S. had a thing called the People-to-People Student Ambassador Program. And the idea was a bunch of American students, young people, would go to other countries, stay with families there, and learn about those countries, and also represent our own country and hang out. And the government paid for a good portion of it. You had to pay as well, and you could do fundraisers, and it was a whole thing. So I went to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales as part of the People-to-People Student Ambassador Program. It was very fun. I have good memories of my times there. And we did go to a parliament. I don't remember what happened there, though. So it wasn't that exciting because I don't have vivid memories of that. I remember the London smog made my, this was 98, I want to say. Yeah, 97 or 98. I can't remember exactly. The London smog made my, let's see here, we'll do this. Okay. Made my nose bleed consistently. I was very miserable in my time in London. And the other big takeaway I took from it was, so in Wales, we stayed with some families. We did it in Ireland as well. The Irish family I stayed with was awesome. The Welsh family I stayed with was very nice, except for the kid my age who I should have spent time with, who I was supposed to spend some time with to kind of like learn. Didn't go to the same school that everybody else, all the other kids in the neighborhood went to. So all the kids that I was traveling with were staying with families. They were all getting together, and I was going to hang out with the kid I was staying with and his friends, none of whom were friends with any of the kids that my travel companions, were staying with. Let me, this screen actually, sorry, I'm adjusting this here a little bit, trying to get rid of the fuzz there. So it was really fun, but also very annoying. And the kid I was staying with seemed nice, but then eventually I was like not thrilled with him because uh, he was going to school in Wales where they only spoke Welsh, which is not the official language of Wales. The official language of Wales is English. And so he was going to school and he was like part of like a group of Welsh people that thought that they should reclaim the language. And he was kind of a dip. Just like not not fun to talk to. Uh, so I remember being very displeased with that kid and did not enjoy hanging out with him. Um, all right, so we're working on our weapons here now. We finished the body. Body's done. It's time to do our weapons. Thanks so much for joining me, everybody that's here. I know I'm starting earlier than normal. I apologize for that, but I think we're going to have a good time anyway. Um, and yeah, so the People Student Ambassador Program was overall a really cool thing. I really did enjoy my time there. Um, but yeah, it was annoying to be with a kid that like when we were hanging out with his friends. None of them were people that like my friends were with on the trip. I went on the trip and I only knew a couple people. Um, that trip was my first girlfriend, uh, Kathy. Met Kathy on that trip. She lived one town over from me, and she went to a all girls school. So we tried to continue dating after we were done, uh, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. I did not have a car at the time, so we could not see each other too often, which was a shame. But yeah, she was like the first girl that I ever like had a crush on who liked me back. We spent a lot of time together on the trip. There were a lot of couples. There were a lot of people that coupled up on that trip because uh, that's what you do when you're home away from home for like a month, maybe more than a month. I can't remember, but it was many weeks that we were traveling together. So of course people paired up. Um, let's see, and then I'll say this. So I am not known for being a smooth operator in any instance. Never have I ever been a smooth person. But I did do a pretty cool smooth thing on that trip. So I liked this girl. She liked me. Um, but neither of us were like prepared to make a move or figure it out. But we were sitting together on a bus, and another couple that was on the bus that had formed through the trip. I can't remember where we were driving. It might have been Ireland at that point. But so they're like one is like just sitting in the chair, and the other one is like she's like sleeping on him, and like so I start like pretend sleeping on her, and then I wake up, and then she does it on me, and so we're just like making fun of this couple, and then like I just lean in and kiss her because like in my mind I was like, well, if that doesn't go well, I'll just go, oh, sorry, I was got swept up in the making fun of them, and if she does like it, then awesome. So you have to understand, this is me. Like I have never been that suave before. Never in my life have I ever like pulled off a move like that. And it worked because she kissed me back, and she was like, "Fucking finally." She probably didn't swear. I don't think she swore, but she was like, "Good, god damn it." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. It's not my. I'm not the. Yeah, I'm not the smoothest dude, but I remember that one working out pretty well." Somebody renewed their subscription but didn't put the thing in to let me know. Thank you, whoever did that. Whoever renewed their subscription, appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do it. You can use your Twitch token if you have your Amazon Prime hooked up with your Twitch Prime, or you could spend real money. It allows me to keep doing stuff like this because I can buy model kits or Legos. Um, oh yes, I literally I said smooth operator because of that clip of Dan uh, going to shake hands and immediately pouring a just opened soda as he was trying to free up a hand to shake someone's hand. Yes, that is that him calling himself a smooth operator is why I said it in my head. Uh, Good pickup there, Johnny. Fucking Dan, Jesus Christ. Uh, I kind of I want to watch that clip again of Dan just not understanding at all what pirates are, and what pirates do. I just don't under. I have a pretty good sense of that guy, but like, what? How do you not know what pirates are? It's pirating. I don't. I'm often one to defend Dan, but I don't know how to defend him from like I don't. I am at mostly a loss for words when it comes to that particular boy and this instance. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I've had that thing where like you go, "Oh, that's why they call it that?" Because like you just didn't understand the euphemism that was on display. I've had that in my life. I've had moments where I went, "Oh, that's why they call it that." But never something that like pirates, pirate, pirating comes from pirates. Isk just subscribed. Hello, Isk. 10 months in a row. Thank you so much with that, Isk. And I'm happy you're here. Welcome. As mentioned, this is my early stream doing 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern time. Still doing the extra half hour. All June long, I'm doing the extra half hour. Um, uh, as we prepare, as we build some weapons. Our Buster Gundam is done. We are just doing some weapons for it. Uh, Stuck at work, my day off, can't really stick around and chat. Wanted to poke in my head and say hi. Well, hi, Isk, and thank you very much for renewing. Very much appreciate that. Very awesome of you for doing it. Um, yeah, Dan did have a unique upbringing, and he is a product of his parents and you know and their rationale and their method of raising him. And I just don't know. I just I can only assume that. Uh, Here's the thing. I can only assume this about Dan Reichert. This is my assumption about Dan Reichert. Dan Reichert had views and opinions that he never questioned, and no one ever questioned him. And I just get the sense that Dan, in all his life, was never, ever, ever like challenged. He was just like smart enough to like get by on tests, and like if he was interested in something, he went for it. And I just feel like no one ever went, "Wait, why, Dan? What? Why? What?" I just feel like that's never happened. Uh, Everyone just went, okay." Uh, that's my opinion. I have no basis of fact of that. That's just cumulative knowledge, and in my opinion. Sebastian said, "Current girlfriend. The first time we met in Meat Space, we were lying on my bed and talking, and asked her if I could hug her. She immediately went in for a tongue kiss, which was incredibly unprepared for." Yes, I am 100% always here for if you are vibing and keeping it great and things are going good and you enjoy each other's company and you like each other, that it does not matter that there are no gender norms should not be, kept up. It is not up to either person to do either thing. It is, but you know, the old saying, go for it. I think if you're like vibing it, you're feeling it, things are good, you're not in denial about where your current standing is. Yeah, People that want to kiss each other should kiss each other. That's my that's my hard and fast stance on that. We are building some weird gun weapons here. These are like because this is alter. This is the artillery. I got it. This is the artillery Gundam. This Gundam is meant to do a lot of damage from either close or far away, and just like mainly far away, just like dump ammunition at someone. H7, H9. So that's what this Gundam does. It's got a lot of weapons and makes use of them, and a lot of them are long range. H9 is over here. Great. I'm gonna do something here. Do go and go. Yeah, Johnny. I am not. I'm not a specialist. I'm not. I certainly know that I'm also on the. I am self-aware enough of that. Undiagnosed on the spectrum, and I don't say that lightly. Um, I could see that with Dan. In the sense of his hard, fast opinions on things, which, because it's not just that Dan has opinions that are weird and nonsense that he has no basis for, is that he sticks to them, but so often when introduced to something that he, challenged those beliefs, goes, oh, I like that. Oh, what am I doing all this time? But that doesn't apply to anything else of his long held beliefs. Like he doesn't do if then what else when it comes to, oh, I hate mayonnaise. Well, that's, you just had some. Oh, I guess I don't hate mayonnaise. Huh. I wonder what other foods I don't hate. Like that doesn't happen. So I do, Johnny, I do believe you would tend to agree with you. Now that, like saying that, um, like I'm not here to diagnose Dan with anything. Uh, that's not what I'm here to do. But I would say there's a pretty good chance that you're right about Mr. Reichert. And but yeah, it just yeah, yes, Harold. I think that like it's an interesting thing. Like I always said that uh, I do find it interesting. But this whole pirate thing, like I just didn't have a I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to react to it. It's just so bizarre. All right, so we're working on our weapons here, doing some applications of stuff. Gonna put this on here. Make sure I do it right. This goes like this, and this goes like this. Oh, it slides in. Cool. And then that goes like that. There's some stickers I could apply if I was the kind of person that applied stickers, but as you know, I am not. Uh, Buster Gundam is. Oh, hello, Solo. Uh, One of the very few Gundam Seed designs actually like. Yeah, no, I said this before. I'm not super into Gundam Seed. I wasn't at the time, but the Buster just looks so cool, and it is a fun follow up to the Heavy Arms, which before Gohan we did the Heavy Arms. It is like a nice contemporary to that kit. To do this one next. I do enjoy its look. I like its colors, the green I like the red is not an eye-popping bright red. It is a much more muted red, which I enjoy. Uh, the inside approach is getting its ideas changed, just shut down. Yes, Johnny, I can see what you're saying. If you have a parents who or any sort of figure like that, uh, who is just dismissive instead of trying to talk through it or to challenge you. Uh, I understand. Yeah, That is totally fair and totally reasonable to say. But yeah, Buster is a lot like the heavy arms. Yes, it does feel very out of place. You're not wrong. Um, it does have an odd look to it compared to the other kits in the show. But that's maybe that might be why I like it so much, is that it does stand out. Um, but I've also, anybody who's watched these streams for any length of period of time knows that I am very much into big weapon uh, model kits. Model kits that have big weapons. The RX 78 that were, the 5, the G5 that we built that I'm going to send out is just a big old weapon. It's just like a big machine gun weapon, and I'm 100% interested in those kinds of model kits. That's what I look for. All right, so it goes like that. Pardon me, sorry. And then, yeah, this moves, this slides up and down, which is kind of cool. And what else do I need to put on? J. I got to put J on. There. The Zulu is one of my favorite. One big gun. Yes. Yes, Twisted. This is the Buster Master Grade from Gundam Seed. Um, oh, cool. F91. Yeah. I do enjoy this kit. I've enjoyed building this kit. I like the rockets on the shoulders, and there's little. You can see the different areas like here and there of it, and these weapons seem fun. I'm excited to finish building them here. The next kit we're building. So I got 2 kits in the mail because this is my birthday month. I'll talk more about that probably at 8 o'clock when I do my commercial break at 8. But I did have 2 kits sent to me at the same time. I got them the same day, so I have 2 kits to build next in a row, and the first one will start today because this won't be finished completely. I don't imagine. But there's one weapon. It's fun here. You can see the holder for the arms, so it can hold both there. We'll take a look at that in more detail as we get closer. Let's look at the other weapon we're building here. 2 parts here, H and J and J. These 2 pieces here. I snipped these out by mistake already, so we've got those. And then H and J. One thing I noticed a lot about Gundam is I really dislike the look of mobile suits until I see the animation, and then I love it and have to buy the kit. Ha! I like that. Yeah, I think sometimes just a static photo of a kit, even a good photo, like you can tell that the photos I use here on the left and the right are always very nice detailed photographs after people have done the detailing and all that work. I always like to include those if I can, because I want people to be able to see how it looks built as we're building it. But even those sometimes don't do it justice. You kind of do need to see the animation. Even if it's like the video game version, sometimes will be enough to make me want to take a look at what it is and have more of a interest in it. Uh, yeah, I think that's totally how I operate as well. Um, I have seen kits that just look cool, and I haven't seen the anime they're in. That certainly happens as well. Sometimes a kit, you just see a kit and you're like, yep, into it. Quibbly looks real dumb as hell. A static image. Yeah, well, I would say this: the dumb head, the Death Gundam from G Gundam looks incredibly stupid in all photos and is in fact a very odd, weird, not pleasing kit or Gundam, but in motion is cool and weird looking because it's supposed to be upsetting. That's the whole thing of it. Uh, Board asks, um, Yes, Solidus, you are totally right. Uh, G Gundam does defy all expectations and understandings of aesthetic. Okay, so Board says E3 got me to buy two games I've never played: Dying Light and Last of Us. The previews of the sequels got me interested. Has anyone happened to it with other games? So I have had that. Uh, I went and played Saints Row the second because everyone was gushing about Saints Row the third, and Saints Row the second was on sale, and so I bought that um, because I was definitely interested in what that could be and what that was gonna be. I had a lot of, I really wanted to know more about those games, and and the second one was very cheap. I'm trying to think if there's any other times that that's happened. I don't know if there's ever been a sequel that got me so into it I wanted to play the original. I'm trying to think. That might be the only example for me. Um, because normally I like, there's some series that I usually just skip to the. Oh, the Yakuza games are that for me. Okay, so I'll say this, folks. The Steam version of Yakuza 0 is coming out in August. The pre-orders right now are like $18. And because they're $18 on Steam, if you haven't bought it on PlayStation, it's on sale on PlayStation for also $18 for the. And obviously, it started on PlayStation, so it's not, it's not the web or the Steam version, but it is on sale. So if you haven't played Yakuza 0 and you're interested, it's on sale on PlayStation and the PC version, which is coming out in August. I pre-ordered the PC version because I really like that game and wanted to continue to support that game because I really, really enjoyed playing it. Um, Yeah, I've always been interested in the Yakuza series. I just never had a good entry point for it. I played some of the post-apocalyptic one, which is obviously not part of the canon. But yeah, I just had always heard good things, and friends of mine, really liked it, like that series. So eventually, I gave it a shot, and I'm really happy I did because I do definitely enjoy it. Uh, it was very fun games. Okay, we're working on these weapons here, getting ready to go, putting some stuff together, and then put this piece out here. This. Um, as far as anime goes, I I watched the 10th episode of Love is Hard for Otaku, which is on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. It was part of their, deal they had when the anime strike was a thing. So now it's just available to anyone with Amazon Prime. Um, I would say watch Grimoire Zero, which isn't bad. That was part of the deal. If you didn't buy Strike, there's some Prime shows that are good that you could pick up. And then Love is Hard for Taku, episode 10. I'm a little mixed right now. On the one hand, it has a little bit of interaction between our male characters, but most of this episode was about the main dude's brother, younger brother, who we've seen before, and him making friends in games and kind of seeing his brother in, like, he meets a lonely person that he goes to college with, who he thinks is a dude, but we find out is a girl, and she's like incredibly quiet and reserved, and so he's trying to make friends with her, um, because he doesn't want her to be as lonely as his brother is, um, but and then one would assume we'll find out sooner or later uh, is a girl, but right now apparently does not know that. Um, so that was it's been like I don't know. It wasn't my favorite episode of the series. It was probably my least favorite because I don't really care about that guy and him having like a good time with a new character. A new character introduced episode 10 If it's a 12 episode series, like I don't need a new character in episode 10. Thank you very much. Um, the remake series of Star Blazers Yamato. No, I have not checked that out. I never really loved the original. I think some of the designs were cool, but I never really got into that series. So I have not watched the remake. It's not on my radar. Yeah, none of the people that I know who are watching shows are watching that. Um, I'm keeping myself. I've never seen the original, but the remake is among my new top 5 sci-fi anime. Huh. Well, yeah. I'll have to check it out. I have not. I have not seen it. Um, I will say that. Oops. Oh no. Knocked the thing off. It flew away. What did I knock off? Oh, I knocked off one of the sides. Okay. The thing I knocked off isn't super important, so it's not worth me getting up to climb over and get it. It's just one of these pieces here that goes on this side. I'll go get it later. But I'm not worried about it. It's not. It doesn't negatively affect this kit in any way. Um, huh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to make you think about Evangelion. Uh, but yeah, I'll have to check out. I'll have to check it out. I yeah, like it. I hadn't thought of it until you brought it up. But that is a series that I have not seen. Like I said, never really cared for the original, but wouldn't mind checking out a remake. I do need a few more series in my life. Um, I am caught up on My Hero Academia, and I am caught up on Food Wars. Food Wars is getting good. Uh, now we're into like a good portion of the show. I'm really excited about where they're going to be, where they're going at this point. So, um, yeah, overall excited for that show. It's catching up, and then like I said, in July we get more Overlord, so I'm excited about that. Um, because as I said, I do enjoy that show. I think the first part of the second season uh, kind of didn't go anywhere, but this one, it picked up towards the end. So, and then yeah, then I'll watch before Saturday stream, Comic Girls. Uh, oh yeah, the Shin Godzilla. Yes, that is a great Godzilla movie. I really enjoyed that movie. Um, yeah, no, that's totally worth uh, uh, mentioning. It's a Shin Godzilla is a great Godzilla picture. All right, so I gotta get H12 out of here. I missed that up. Where? Oh, there it is. H12. Um, yeah, so I'm excited for the July releases. A bunch of shows are getting towards the end of their time, and that means that we'll get some new stuff because I am always excited for new anime. Finished Absolute Duo, the series that I was going back to. I'm borrowing the Blu-rays. Finished that. I found myself yesterday. Just I had some time before work. Like I had like just enough time for a show, um, and nothing new to watch. So I ended up watching like a random episode of Gate, not Steins Gate, Gate, the show about the mysterious gate that opens between a fantasy world and modern day Japan, and how the Special Defense Force from Japan rolls in, uh, and one of the major outfit units is an otaku, and how that is very funny and leads to a lot of hijinks. And I've forgotten that I do enjoy that show. It's goofy, and um, there are some parts that aren't necessarily great, but overall, I'd forgotten that I do enjoy that show. I just kind of randomly decided I was going to watch some of it. Uh, Gate does have very high highs and high lows. You're totally right. Um, it's the concept. I think is really cool because it breaks its path the outside of the fantasy inside a video game thing because it is quote unquote real life. Um, there's something really interesting about it, but then a lot of the character choices are it's just too horny in times, and it's like not a fun horny, a embarrassing horny. I'll say that. But there's some characters I think are very cool. I do like Rory Mercury outside of her trying to be romantic. I think Rory Mercury is a cool element in the anime. She is a human that becomes a demigod and dresses like a gothic Lolita and has a big scythe. And she has powers given to her by her god. And I just think that's like it's an interesting thing. I don't know. And he doesn't get a lot of screen time, but there's an old wizard man that I think is very fun. I really like the old wizard guy. He's one of my favorite characters. He doesn't get a lot of screen time though. Uh, oh, happy birthday, Johnny! I didn't know it was your birthday. Oh man, happy birthday! I'm really happy you're here with us. You were celebrated. You got to fast food and picked a movie. And yeah, Akira, you need to have the DVDs at this point. I think there's no way to stream it unless you own it, which is a shame. And then you watched The Girl Who Leapt Through Time instead. Yeah, that's a fun one. Oh, happy birthday! That sounds like a cool birthday. I'm glad part of it is you here with me. Very cool. All right, so we're gonna finish this up here, um, and then we will finish these connector pieces up here, and then I'll take a break and talk about how you can support the channel and all that, and then we'll keep building and finish off our weapons. Yeah, yeah, I don't think I can't remember when it went off Netflix, but it wasn't too long ago. Um, but yeah, that is always annoying when you're like, oh, we'll just stream it, and then you just can't find it. That is frustrating. All right, we're gonna pop these out here. And put this out here. I just wanted to show it to my girlfriend because it starts with its advantage with us. Yeah, I mean it's just the music and the way they used the MIDI and to create the sound in that. The sound is so revolutionary for the time and impressive. The soundtrack alone, like, and the sound effects are so impressive. And the visual style of it, uh, yeah, it's got a lot going for it. Obviously, uh, weird newsflash: Pat Baer likes Akira. Film at 11. Uh, Shocking statement today from Pat Baer on his live stream. He thinks Akira is very good. I bought the anniversary DVD set years ago when it came out. Um, uh, Mainly because I had never watched it in a good atmosphere, and by good atmosphere, I just mean that I had never I'd always seen it like a poor version of it. What am I trying to say? Oh, just like I had never seen like a clean, good version because I had always had like a copy of a VHS. I never had like a good, solid uh, transfer of it. Always had like a friend of a friend's copy. So when I got to watch it uh, in its like gorgeous glory, eventually. It was really nice to see like the best version of it. And I have mixed feelings about the actual, story and the version they do and its differences from the manga and all that. Of course, it's not by any means perfect, but especially for the time, it's really important. Uh, any piece of animation like that is certainly important just to be like a product of the time and a showing of what's possible. I've read through a lot of the manga, and I've read through some bad translations of the manga, and then some good translations of the manga. But yeah, I've definitely checked it out. All right, great. So these go like this. We'll finish the final assembly of this, and then, yeah. All right, so this goes. If you put this like this, this goes. Ball joint goes in like that. And then this is the weapon. This is the other weapon here. And then ball joint goes in like this. That. And then. Huh. All right, so now I got to figure out. This will only take a moment or two. Just got to figure out how these go on here. This goes. Ah, I see. Uh, I'm sure if I watched this seed more, I would know a better way to put this on, or I would have put this on faster. It just took me a minute because I don't know the show as well as other shows. Options are a bit more limited. I'm in Sweden. The manga within Europe is pretty much Amazon. Yeah, yeah, that's a hard thing. If you're not, if you're not, if you don't have comic shops, um, it's very difficult to keep up with what's going on out there. If you're not like in a place that regularly serves you, the comics you're looking for, then you can only buy them online, and that's tough. That is a hard sell. All right, so let's see. So I can combine these two guns into one big gun, or they can go underneath and all. They do a lot of weird shit. But that's our Gundam here. There's a lot of instructions that I cannot understand here in Japanese, but actually, it should be like that. No, no, it should be like that. These little things like to pop off. That's not fun. I don't like that at all. 180 is yeah, that's a lot of money. Smash Mouth, you're totally right. $180 is a lot of money for a comic collection, even if it's something that you really want to read. That's a big ask. All right, these things pop off, so I'm just going to put them in the box. But yeah, that's it. That's our Buster Gundam. Um, I'll take a we'll take a break here to talk about the different ways you can support the channel, and then we'll pop in and start our next kit, and I'll reveal what that is. But yeah, this is the Buster Gundam from Gundam Seed. Looks pretty cool. And then I've got some sheets left over that I'll have to put in here. Let me do that. And while I'm doing that, I'll start talking to you about ways that you can support. So the number one thing is you could become a subscriber of the channel if that's something you wanted to do for not too much money, $5 a month. You know, if you have Twitch, you can link your, or if you have Amazon Prime, you link your Twitch with that, and you can send it that way as a way to support the streams that I do here. Yeah, so that is a option if that's something you'd like to do. You could do that. $5 level, you get a cool emote, the Bear Cave emote, which you can see here. And then for $10 a month, you get the Lego emote. That's a fun thing. Why not? I'm going to put this here. I'll take a photo. As always, got to take a photo of this after. This box is annoying because it's just like, I mean, they had a bunch of stuff. So instead of being tall, it's just like short and rectangular, and I really don't enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of this box. So I'm going to put this on the side. There are other ways to support. You could join my Patreon. You can see right here. The link to it in there. $1, you get a Q&A video, which I shoot once a month. I'm going to actually shoot that next week. For $5 a month, you get all my videos early. Anything I do online, any videos I make, go in early. For that, I have an Amazon wish list. The next kit I'm going to build was picked out from my Amazon wish list. I constantly update it. I do it just about once a week to go through, put new things in. I always try to have stuff that is Amazon Prime ready, so you can send it to me quickly. And if you purchase something from that for me, I will always talk to people. I always build it directly next. It'll jump the line. And then I have a Ko-Fi for one or two, and that money goes to me buying kits. I would like to maybe on Saturday. Oh, no, I can't do this. Maybe on Sunday during the day. I'm going to try to go to a Toys R Us, and I'm going to use money from my Ko-Fi account to buy something if there's a good sale there. Otherwise, I'll just buy something on Amazon when my numbers get low again as far as kits I have to build. I also have a Discord. You can join that Discord. That's not for money. That's for free. I've got a Discord. You're welcome to join that. I'll put the link there. All these links for those watching later on YouTube are in the show description. That's just the Build with Bear community Discord that you're more than welcome to join. I'm going to tweet out a link that of the next kit I'm about to build, because we've got a little less than an hour left of this. Thank you for joining me, everybody that's here. I hope you're having a good time. We are going to start working on a duo set. This is the first duo we've ever done. More than one kit within the same kit. That's right. Oh, we going to build a horse. Yes, I'm very excited to work on. It's a high-grade kit. Shouldn't take long at all to build. The Master Gundam and Funsaki. Funsaki is a horse that is a unicorn. It's a nonsense kit. I included the photo of this horse in its gear because there's a man in this and a horse in this, and that's how it goes. Master Asia pilots the Master Gundam. We built the Master Gundam in a Master Grade version. We're going to build a high grade because they don't make a Master Grade that I know of the horse. So I put this on my wish list, and it was purchased and won the poll of what I should build next. Not a lot of pieces to this. As I said, it is a high grade kit, so it's not going to take us too long to do. I'm just going to kind of move those pieces over there. But I'm very excited to build this because this is nonsense. And I think we'll all have fun looking at this silly kit. The D's go in here. And then H's go here. But yeah, now, one thing is, this is a high-grade kit. It does have stickers. And it's got a bunch of stickers. And so, because they're big, I'm going to attempt to put on as many of these as I can. I can't make too many promises. I will do my best. They're not numbered. They have symbols next to them. So I'll do my best. But I think particularly if there's stuff for the horse, I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm not going to succeed. I'm going to do my best. And also, there's the main. I got to put this on here, not the main. There. But yeah, this is a nonsense, silly kit. I'm very excited to build it. I hope you enjoy it. I put the tweet out. Yeah, so this is a high grade kit. It is obviously not. This is the Neo Hong Kong fighter. Master Asia is his name. And this is a silly nonsense kit, but it should be pretty easy to build. The Master Gundam is one of my favorite Gundams. The look of it is just so cool. Like the weapons. This kit does have an enormous hand, which I think is just a fun element to it. And just have a tiny version of him, which I think is very fun. All right, so let's get to building. The Master Gundam, when I built it, I almost kept it. There are a few kits that I said I'm going to keep, but I can't keep too many of them in my place. The Master Gundam just looks beautiful, so I was not thrilled to let that go, but it does look really good. So, all right, so put those there. But yeah, this is a high grade kit. Obviously, we work on master grades. Duck out early, getting tired. Thank you very much for joining us as much as you could. Johnny, happy to have you here for even a little bit. But yeah. Yeah, this is a high-grade kit, so it should be a pretty easy build to do. The next kit that we're going to work on is the full, is that weird Iron Blood Orphans thing, full mechanics, where it's so D120. The mechanics, which is interesting, where it's like kind of like a 1/100 scale real grade. So that'll also be pretty quick as far as builds go. I'm going to cough, pardon me. I'm going to mute because this is going to be annoying. Sorry about that. Allergies are getting the best of me again, so I apologize. All right, yeah. So this is a high grade, pretty straightforward kit. I already at least know what a master grade is supposed to look like, so I'm not too worried about this coming together right or wrong. There's still room for me to mess it up. I also very excited about doing an animal. We're gonna make a horse. We've done a couple Pokemon model kits, but always couldn't do. We've never done a unicorn. So those that haven't watched G Gundam might not understand what the fuck is going on. But so basically, the idea of G Gundam is that it was the first of the Other World series of Gundams, the first one that took place in a different timeline. And the idea was they made a fighting series out of the Gundam show. So each it's like a tournament where each country has their own representative that is a Gundam and a person. And this particular Gundam, the Hong Kong Gundam, is Master Asia, and he rides a horse. So the idea is that you, instead of sitting in the controls, you put on this kind of suit that makes this vinyl material plastic suit that while you move, your Gundam moves. And so if you're riding a horse, this particular horse just has it shows up and rides it and is inside its own suit. And it doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't need to make sense. It's stupid and dumb, but I love it so much. I'm having a little trouble with getting these into place properly. NetherRealms needs to make a G Gundam fighting game. You know what? I don't disagree with you on that. That would be pretty funny. All right. So we got our pieces in here. Sure they're angled right. And then we want to have 6 and G21. So this is a high grade, which means that it's less pieces. It is a smaller scale. It is a easier build. This is a 144 scale, so it'll be a pretty quick kit to put together once it starts coming together. It'll be pretty easy. Here we go. But yeah, it should be pretty fun. And like I said, I'm not gonna apply all the stickers, but I'm gonna try to apply like maybe like the black ones or at least or some of them. I might do it after. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna try to do some sticker work, so it's not just me doing none. All right, and that goes in like this. Yeah. Um, there's something wonderful and nonsensical and enjoyable about G Gundam. I don't know if I recommend the show. I don't know if I can recommend the show. It is available streaming on Crunchyroll. Um, it is a very strange show. Um, but like I said, I don't know if I can fully endorse it because it's problematic to say the least. Because it's a one person representing a country, it is very uh, stereotypical. It deals in stereotypes. The Gundam that represents the Netherlands is a windmill. It's just yeah, and like the American one is like a boxing football cowboy thing. It's got there's a lot of racism. But the Japanese one, the Shining Gundam, there's no racism in that one for some reason. I wonder why this Japanese show chose to just have it be the best Gundam. Weird. It's being annoying. I don't know why. Delayed paycheck and some money from freelance work. I finally bought a God of War, Assassin's Creed Origins, Red Zero. Wow, you went for some games, huh? Okay. And Solidus says that G Gundam holds up super well. Huh. Magical Girl show? Yeah, I can kind of see that. Um, I think it's the fact that obviously that there are mechs in it makes it more of a and that they're piloting. You can kind of you could easily say that that's more of a Magical Girl show. Um, yeah, I mean you have to understand that there are stereotypes, uh, cultural stereotypes in that show all over the place, and be like, okay, that's gonna happen. Uh, that's what this show is. That's how it deals in it, and just kind of focus on the the main character and some of the other characters that show up in it that are all fun because I do think those are fun characters. So I think if you're focusing on them, it's easier to like the show. Yeah, I mean it's full of like pretty racist robots. At some point I've got to build I don't have to build, but yeah, eventually I do want to get more of them because I do think that the designs are interesting in a way that I like. I mean, my main goal is I'm gonna build all of the five, um, at the very least, a version of each of the five Gundams, uh, the main team Gundams from a Gundam wing. That is a goal is to build all five, at least one version of each of the five. Um, you know, I've done a tall geese. I've done Epion. I've done the heavy arms. I've done several of the Wing Gundam and the Wing Zero, and then I've done death sights. So two death sights. The only thing um, I might not do two versions of the heavy arms, but I'd like to do the other two at some point because I'm a completionist and I would like to be a completionist for my favorite series. Um, as far as Gundam X, I did the double X. I don't know if I'll ever do the single. I don't know if I'll do any of the other Gundams from that show. Probably won't. Um, but you can see. So, scale. Here is the chest of the Buster Gundam. Here is the chest of the Master Gundam. We're talking about this is going to be a smaller kit than the 1/100 scale. It's rare that we have a 1/100 out for me to look at and compare, so that's fun. Your favorite G Gundam detail is how the French pilot's butler, has an outdated suit that just straight up has a steering wheel. Yes, I do remember that old suit that he has. That is a very funny specific. Um, all right, so one of the things about this, obviously being the 1/100 scale, is that it's not the most difficult kit to put together. Like I said, we'll get a bunch done in the next 40-ish minutes, and have plenty of time to work on it on Saturday. So I'm expecting to start the other kit on Saturday as well. Get that together, and that'll be fun. A17 and A18. I do have the because we did the Shining Gundam, the Burning Gundam, or the God Gundam. I do have waiting in the wings. That's up for vote. That'll be up for vote later. Um, I don't know when I'll get to that, but I will at some point build that kit as well. I look forward to putting that together. I do like working on stuff from G Gundam, but that'll be up for vote for my $10 Patreon supporters. I do want to give a shout out to. I did have two folks join my Patreon recently at the $5 level. There was not to get into details, but someone who is a shitty garbage person. It's just started a Kickstarter, and not Kickstarter, a Patreon, and instead of supporting that person, there's some people that were encouraging folks to back someone that they like, and I ended up getting a nice bit of support from two folks, which was very nice. I'm not gonna talk about that garbage person, but I will say that the last time I looked, he only had twice as many patrons as me, which I think is great because he was a personality that a lot of people know. So the fact that he does not have as much immediate support is small potatoes. But I was happy that he only had twice as many people supporting him, considering I am a known person, but certainly not a famous person. Solo asked, you ever think about having any of your UCB fam on the stream to get to the model kit stuff? So, my very first episode, I did have my friend John came on for a little bit. So I've always kind of talked about having guests, but I've never done like it would definitely be a different version of this show. It would require a little more production because, just doing all this for myself, I'm already like not stressed, but I'm already like figuring it out and making it happen, and I'm happy with where it is. But I do think that there's something fun about the idea of doing that. It hasn't been approved yet, but I am going to submit a panel for PAX West to do a live version of this show. I'll have some PAX folks do it. And there's always the idea of doing a live version in New York to have some guests on to kind of have them stuff. Either people that have like worked on things in the past. You do a lot of work with LA comedy people. Always thought it'd be great to have comedy folks do this sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, like there are people like I have friends who are very much into the D&D world that are working on that kind of stuff and doing some sci-fi things and that do art and that they, I have a few friends of mine that are model builders as well. Yeah, it's always something that I've always like been interested in trying to do the guest thing. That was the original idea of the show, was I was going to do the streams on location and then have some guests pop in. But then I realized how much easier it was to do these here in my apartment as a solo project, and that's basically how it's going to be. But yeah, I do have plans to do a live thing here and there. All right, so I could put on the eye stickers, but they're so small that I am not going to apply those. And instead, I'm just going to move on We've already done our head and our chest. High grades move fast. I remember when we did the master grade, these pieces, this was like 6 pieces, and it was very annoying to put together. It's a lot easier when it's just 2 pieces. I don't normally do high grades, as I said. The reason we're doing a high grade for this is because it has the horse, the unicorn, and we wanted to build a unicorn. Played a tabletop campaign with Middle Ditch for 3 years straight before he got too busy. Oh, that's awesome. I haven't seen Thomas in quite some time. Years ago in New York City, when they were both in New York, Thomas Kumail Nanjiani, also from Silicon Valley, had a UCB show in New York, a monthly video game show, which was early in the era. I remember one of the first things they showed off that they thought was cool. They had a segment where they showed off cool stuff. They did like a bit on like a Peggle thing, so that'll kind of tell you the era of when it was. But it eventually just like didn't really catch on. But now I think about that and I'm like, oh, if they started that now, it would be huge. Hello, Mech. This is a Master Gundam, one of the best Gundams. This is the high grade version, so it involves a horse, which is why we're building it, because it's got a horse, and that's silly. But they only did the horse in high grade, so we gotta do what we can. Uh, oh, nice. That's awesome. You worked on the posters solo. Uh, yeah, I mean the main thing was they had like a show and it was fun. It just didn't really like take on any water. And then years later, Kameo would have a podcast about video games, and then he would get too busy. And also, video game fans are awful people because Kameo and Emily are just people that liked video games that, when asked to make a podcast on a podcast network, chose to make a podcast about video games. And then it was fine when comedy people were talking to them about stuff. But once video game players who are not comedians started listening, it got rough. I'm going to cough again. I'm going to mute, and I'm going to cough, and I'm going to drink some water. Yeah, you're talking about the indoor kids backlash. Yeah, I mean it wasn't, to me, it wasn't weird. It was shitty and annoying and like awful, but I wasn't surprised by it. Basically, like, Emily's awesome. Kumail is so, when Kumail gets hot on something, he's so infectious in his enthusiasm, and it's such a shame that they just kind of like they got busy, so they weren't consistent with it, and then like they were like, well, why work so hard if we're just going to get letters about how we're wrong and stupid all the time? Like, why would they want that? Why would they want like awful people constantly like writing to them about video game stuff? People who could just be like, "Oh yeah, they're amateurish in their enthusiasm." Because that's the thing, they weren't setting out to be journalists or game reviewers. They were just passionate about games and wanted to do a podcast about it. Like, it was very frustrating. Because comedy fans, it was like, oh, that's fun. It's like a hobby that I whatever. Like, there's an old episode of that about Paul F. Tompkins, like talking about gaming, and like that's a guy who doesn't talk about that part of that hobby in his life that much at all. And as a huge Paul F. Tompkins fan, it was fucking rad as hell to be able to hear Paul talk about gaming and like playing games with the Mr. Show writers and Halo days and going to someone's house and playing Halo all day and Street Fighter with like all of these like comedy idols of mine. Like, those stories don't get told. And there's a bunch of stuff in that was just like so awesome, and it was so frustrating that it got ruined by dummies. Yeah, I mean the meltdown audience, like in New York we have those people too. It was the crash test audience here that kind of became the whiplash audience. Um, there is an element of this kind of like, I don't know. There are amazing comedy fans in the world, uh, and I love that so much. But there's also so many comedy fans that are the equivalent of the video game get good crowd. Those people exist in all forms of media and fandom, and it's very frustrating when you just want cool people to like your things. Your GURPS playing group was full of comedy writers. Oh yeah, yeah. It's an awesome, cool thing. I mean, like my it was a small guild, and we were never going to be good, but we always had fun. My Warcraft guild was all New York comedy people from the New York scene now who like write for television and are all over the place and have had specials and all that kind of stuff. Like we all played D&D together, and it was all a very fun, cool time at the time. Yeah, now they're all doing their thing, but the video game playing comedy nerd thing, it shouldn't be surprising. Mex says, when it comes to opinions on the internet, if you are wrong, people hate it. Yes, very much so. You have to. It like I'm never one to advocate you gotta have a thick skin because I don't believe that. I feel like it. I my general opinion is that like, hey, be fucking nice. What if you were nice? Is generally where I fall on that argument. But at the same time, you do have to be prepared for people who seemingly should like what you're doing, just being awful. And that's not the same thing as asking for you to be better. Like good criticism is like totally reasonable. But like if you're gonna have a guest on who wants to talk about the TurboGrafx 16, you could do some research about that, but I don't need you to know everything about the TurboGrafx 16. And I'm not going to be fucking a dick about it if you don't know everything about the TurboGrafx 16 because it's the TurboGrafx 16. You shouldn't know everything about it. You didn't own one. So when people are like mad about that kind of stuff, it's like these are comedians. They just want to talk about video games they like, and their guest happened to grow up with that system. Uh, yeah, Mac, I can see your point there. We weren't really talking about the like, you don't like the game that I invested my money into and my energy and my hype into. This is a lot of like, just like, what you don't know about ActRaiser? What's wrong with you? How can you have a video game podcast? And it also comes down to that kind of mentality is also a lot of the like, oh, you're running this live stream, but you don't know that? Like, how can you be that? How come you get to do this and I don't get to do this? I know so much more about this than you. And it's like, well, that doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's just jealousy. Uh, but you can't reason with people like that. The people that are mad that you have an opportunity for whatever reason. Um, he didn't make it easier because he was so antagonistic. But back in the day, I remember people were mad because Luke Fields didn't have in the 1-up days didn't have like a background. He didn't grow up with games. He like really got into Halo and like Warcraft. Like he got into the games he got into and really liked the games he got into, but he wasn't like an old school gamer. And people would there were people that were incredibly upset about that. Hello Zorbs. Uh and welcome. I'm glad you're here for the last half hour of the stream. We do 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm glad some folks were able to come. Once again, I do apologize that I'm not doing my normal time, but I wanted to see the Giant Bomb Thursday night stream. I knew a lot of the people that watch this stream would also want to do that, so made the decision to just kind of do an earlier stream than normal. So people could go see that because it's Thursday night. I know that Drew Scanlon's going to be on. I know that eventually We will have Johnny and Dave and Adam on. So figured I might as well do an earlier version today and let people be able to watch it, including myself. Yeah, Zorbs, I knew enough of y'all would want to watch both, and I didn't want to make people choose, and I certainly didn't want to lose that battle. And I wanted to be able to stream for a few people. And of course, the first hour, we didn't have as many people as we normally do, but things have picked up a little bit now, which is very nice. A few familiar faces that we don't see that often. Uh, oh, and you can watch Critical Role live for once. That's very good, Mech. I'm happy for you for that. Uh, oh, I mean, Jeff Gersman is a consummate professional. I think I'm a pretty good interviewer, but the way he weaves back and forth between people, and then also you can watch it like last night at a certain point, like he just had a question he wanted to ask because, some people were, oh, these are all the Train Jam people. They know each other so well. I can ask any of them, these people. But it's like, he has a different question between someone from the Hitman 2 team and Ed Boon and Eric Pope. Those people are getting different questions, but the way he's able to seamlessly weave between them is very, very impressive. And as a person who's, like I said, thinks they're a pretty good interviewer, it's a pleasure to watch. Um, and it's that thing where like, and sometimes like they get a laugh where it goes, Eric Pope, and it just gets a laugh because he didn't have like a built-in transition, but he's still getting all the questions he wants. He goes if something is interesting and happens, but he definitely wants to ask that question later. He'll bounce back to it and go, "Hey, the thing I was going to say earlier." But he's also totally willing to follow the fun of the interview and where it's going. Has such a great rapport, and also brings people in. And um, I think of all the interviews I watched, there were only like a couple people that I wish had spoken more. Like also when you have, and it's really like I wish I had heard more from Danica because she's so fun and such a funny, cool person that maybe people watching the streams don't know how awesome Danica is. That if they don't watch Waypoint stuff, so I wish we had gotten a little more Danica. But I also understand that she was on the couch with Patrick and Austin, who are wearing the same shirt, so they are going to draw focus. She was also in the worst seat because that seat you can't really turn your body to talk to people behind you without cutting off the host, and it's a bad seat to engage with other people. So, yeah, I understood why. Um, yeah, and also it's like a lot of it is a lot of with Danica is that she's the thing with Danica is she's really good at social media stuff. She was really good at Crunchyroll. It's where I first met her, and she's been so good uh, at Waypoint, and is so funny and fun that like, yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little more of her on the stream, but I also understand why there wasn't as much. Um, and yeah, there were a few people that like I said, I wish we'd gotten a little more time with. I think the Train Jam crew was really good at keeping the discussion fun and cool. Uh, and I always like hearing Rami. I love talking to Rami about stuff that's going on with him. But I think I was okay with Rami not being the focus of that. Um, and as much as I loved Felix just being Felix, drawing on the board, I also wish that Felix had been sitting on the couch because Felix rules. I mean, that's me just being biased. I just love Felix. They're one of my favorite people in the world. Uh, I'm so thrilled that at the very first League of Heels show, the very first one at PAX, uh, Pope was like, "Oh, you should," to me and Samantha and Felix, Samantha Coleman. It's like, "Oh, you should sit together. You all like each other," and that was Pope just like deciding, rightfully so, that we would be friends, and I'm so grateful to him for that. Because Samantha is a fantastic person, and as I said, Felix is one of my favorite people on the planet, and it's always a pleasure to spend time with them. So selfishly, I would have liked to have seen a little more Felix on the stream, but it happens. Still, overall, very good. Um, People are doing good work, and it's good to see them do their thing. Oops, messed that up. Gotta fix that. So yeah, so we're assembling things here. These are all gonna go together and become our arms. They're very simple right now. Felix does own. You're right, Solo. The Gooch is the best. Um, but yeah, I thought that Pope, my boy Pope, did a fantastic job uh, on with the Hitman devs and and Ed Boon. It was a little more of a serious conversation, even though Dan still managed to be Dan, which was good because levity is fun and nice to have. But it was funny to have like what's that? Oh, it was funny to watch Pope have to be like on one of the serious couches because that's not usually his style. Uh, but he's repping For Honor, a game that I have tried, but I just can't. It's just not my thing. Uh, that's awesome, Harold. You got Felix to sign that. Yes, I still have mine. It's on its last legs, but I still have my Cuties Killing Video Games shirt. Always gets plenty of positive feedback and sometimes questions. I remember somebody who was just being like trying to be, I think, instigate me, but didn't know, just knew they didn't like my shirt. The Cuties Killing Video Games, which is like, what does that mean? Like, ready for it. And I was just like, there are some people out there that think that us cuties are trying to destroy the video games they love by asking for stuff that we like as well. And if they think that, we might as well monetize it. And he was like, oh, all right, that's funny. Okay. But he was all ready to be mad at me. And I was just like, you're proving my point, sir. All right, so, wow, we got a lot of things to put together here. These together goes in that, these and that. Put these shoulder pieces here. This piece here. Goes into this. Trying to make all this right here. One important question, Pat. Are you Team Langzone or Team Free Kessler? Look, I don't know if I need or want Dave Lang to know that I'm Team Lang. I don't know if that's good for Lang or good for me for him to know, but I think I gotta go. I gotta support the Lang Zone on this one. Um, I think so. Yeah, I think I gotta be Team Lang on this one. Yeah, I think I gotta monetize the teens in this particular instance. Okay, doing the arms there. All right, we gotta put together. I'm just putting these together, basically, just putting together some of these arms here, and then we'll wrap up in a little bit. Yeah, teens are not going to monetize themselves. You're totally right. You got to monetize. We gotta work on monetizing them as a group effort. Can't expect these teens to monetize themselves. Um, huh. Wait. I'm sorry here, folks. Let's take a second. Try to figure out why this wasn't working right. And now I know I was doing it wrong. All right, so we've got two arms here, shoulders and arms. We're going to quickly put together uh, the rest of our arms, and then we'll wrap up probably once we're done with these arms. We need PC5. Yeah. Harold, I didn't read that you said monetized teas. That is a good joke. I just didn't read it. I apologize for not seeing that you wrote monetized teas, which is good. You should monetize teas. One thing I thought was really funny this year was so much of GB Crew getting legal weed. I think them talking about it was kind of fun. Like, I'm not expecting, this isn't a team of goody two shoes, like, whatever. I mean, God, I was at PAX, the first PAX South with a unbelievably belligerent, incredibly drunk, impossible to talk to Dan Reichert. One of the first times I was hanging out with Dan, and he was just a nightmare mess. So I don't put it past them for drugs and alcohol. I think it was just kind of like they were more open about it because of the vlog, and I think that was kind of fun that they were pretty open about it. Uh, I think a little bit of it is in for uh, a little bit of that is Bacalar just being like, you know, on the other side of the country, away from his family, and being like, "Oh, guess I'm gonna have a little weed." Uh, just Bacalar being, you know, a dad on the West Coast having a good time, which I think is fun. All right, so we'll put this together here. Yeah, overall, I've enjoyed their E3 coverage. I thought they did a good job with it in general. It's been enjoyable. And as I said, I look forward to tonight's festivities. We're going to wrap up in a couple minutes to give people time to get food or bathroom or whatever they need to do. I got to upload this slowly. My upload speeds have kind of tanked pretty recently. I am looking into other options, but right now it is pretty annoying, I must say. All right, and then we'll put that on there. And I'm not going to worry about the hands. I'll deal with the hands in a little bit. And I guess about there. But yeah, I overall happy with today. I'll be back in my normal time of 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. We'll go to 9 to 11. Keep it doing the 2 hours all month long. We will continue to work on this. Maybe work on the next kit, depending. A13 on how long it takes to do this. We might move on to our next kit on Saturday. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll wrap up here. I've got a couple more pieces to do. If people want to take off, they're more than welcome to. If you aren't a subscriber, now's a great time to do it. Hey, if you're not a follower, please at least follow and set your notifications so that you get a notice when I go live so that you can be aware. Thursdays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. For the rest of the month of June, I will stick to that. The exception to that is June 22nd. I will, of course, be here at 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. doing model kits, but from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday the 23rd, June 23rd, that's my birthday. I'm going to do my monthly game stream at that time. So my games will be from 7 to 9, and then 9 o'clock I will do the regular build stream. That's because my birthday, and I figured my birthday would be a great time to hang out with folks and do some model kit building, and also do some games with chat. So we're gonna do that on Saturday the 22nd. I'll keep promoting that as we get closer. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun day, and I hope people will be able to come check that out. But yeah, we're gonna finish this up. We're gonna finish this arm up here. Not much left to build with this, and then we'll wrap it up. Um, okay, okay. Yeah, and so hopefully folks will be able to join me on Saturday for my normal build stream, um, and all that, and then also uh, I hope you had a good time watching. I had a good time doing it. Consider subscribing if you don't. Uh, yes, the next Jackbox revealed. I have not seen what it was. Uh, I uh, I haven't seen that reveal. I'll have to check it out. Um, I know that one of them is you don't know Jack, and I don't know what else is going to be part of that. But I do know that it's coming out soon. And I'll have to check it out. I've got a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. Obviously, we'll do some of the Jackbox Party Pack 3 because it's my favorite pack. Doing Quiplash and doing TKO. And then I've got another game that I'm going to play as people come in that is close to building. It's like building, but it's a video game. Split the Room. Huh. I'll have to check it out. Thank you for letting me know that's out, Harold. Might have to go check that out. All right, so we're going to assemble our pieces here. We already got some done here, and that's it. That's going to do it for us. I'm going to end early so that folks can get ready for the Giant Bomb streams. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday night. Hopefully, I'll see you here on Saturday at our normal stream time. Thank you, and have a good one. Bye-bye.